Okay, apparently as I transitioned over to that video, that passage that I was going to read, it turned off my video. So I'm going to carry on from where I left off. But this morning I was listening to a section that was a preface to Matthew 18 and Luke 10 that my church is studying this week. And in it says something, have you ever asked God for an answer or do a question asked and you've received an unanticipated answer? I'm just trying to summarize it right now as I'm slaughtering it, but I'll put the link hopefully below. And in it, it talks about how if you ask the Lord who's the greatest in the kingdom of heaven, he says it's a child. How often should I forgive my enemy? Till 70 times 7. And other things like that. He tends to answer in these unpredictable ways. And I feel like if we see the world differently, it allows us to find beauty in these ashes. And so, like with my personality and my tendencies to have these ADD and this dyslexia and this creative and spontaneous way of attention redirectional ability that I have, that I can see beauty in that. And I can use that just as God uses these truths that seem incongruent, but they actually are very harmonious. Like I can see that just because I have this, it doesn't mean that I'm a detriment. I'm a negative. I have a negative impact because of this necessarily. And I'm excited to find harmony, not balance. Balance you have to know it's like an equal, weighing and compensating. And I don't like balance as an idea of how I should interact with the world around me, but rather to be harmonious with the world around me. There's a resonance that happens when things are very harmonious, and it kind of just hits you in your heart. And that's what I aim for as I'm going through my days. Excuse me. I seek for that harmony, that I can feel okay. I'm driving with the personalities around me and what's happening around me, and that's something I can aim for. I like lists. They're good for direction, especially for me, because I do get distracted. But I also find that I have to give myself not only the freedom, but applaud the ability I have to adapt and to change direction during the day, because that can also be very important, especially when you're homeschooling lots of very strong-minded, independent people who have their own agendas of how they want things to be. And so it can actually be a blessing. So I hope that you can find beauty from the ashes and maybe how you've labeled yourself, whether you're a personality that is very focused and can't deviate. You feel like you can't brainstorm, you're not spontaneous or able to see, the variety of options. That's great for some of us who need that kind of personality to hold on to and latch on and pull us forward. That's really helpful. But then also maybe give some grace to and some beauty to the people like me who are very spontaneous and can drive you crazy because they can't settle on one idea for more than a second, or maybe our conversations go in some kind of circuitous, rambling. And it's hard to follow sometimes. That say, hey, that means that person also has a very creative outlook and possibly can help expand my focused path. So that's part 2, and I hope I covered everything I thought I was, because I had finished another segment later. But yeah, that's the gist of those rambling thoughts from this ARA mind. Have a great week. Find beauty in who you are, in the ashes that you've been critical of. Try to look and see that spin. And just a closing thing, I like to share one of my favorite scriptures that I found in the New Testament. It's 1 Corinthians 1, and this effect, it says, "For the foolishness of God is greater than the wisdom of man." And I don't know if I already shared that in this episode, but it's worth sharing twice just in case. But the idea that the foolishness of God, the things we see that are incongruous, or like, why would you give someone this weakness, and this, it's greater than the wisdom of man. So often we think we've got things figured out and we know how to solve this problem. But to look for maybe a different spin on the similar situation and wait for maybe some elucidation from heaven or inspiration from the world around you, that might help you to get some perspective and find more beauty in life around you. So continue to look for beauty from the ashes this week. Good luck. My heart goes with you. And next time, I'm signing out.